This guide will show you how to upscale CSGO, or any game for that matter, using Nvidia's NIS. If you're on an AMD card, then watch my other video instead, link shown on screen and in the description. So this guide on NIS will work on any Nvidia card that's even remotely modern, but I find the upscaling only works if you're gaming at the same aspect ratio as your monitor runs at. If not, then it didn't upscale for me, but it did still sharpen the image based on the sharpening value I chose in the drivers. More on that later. And if you have any questions about this, then read the description first, because the chances are somebody's already asked the question and I might have already posted the answer there. Let's begin. Nvidia's NIS upscaling doesn't add more detail to the image. It merely does a better job of making the details that are already there look sharper and with finer edges. This comparison shows it well. This is it off, this is it on. Off, on. If you look at this railing, it looks like it's a higher resolution, but it's not. It's just better scaled to fit the screen. And the same along these edges and so on. So if you're interested in this extra clarity, then carry on. The first step is to enable upscaling in the Nvidia control panel. Right-click on your desktop, Nvidia control panel, manage 3D settings, image scaling, set it to on. Well done. You now have the choice of how much sharpness you want. 0% is smooth, but maybe a bit too blurry, while 100% is so sharp it will stab your eyes. The sweet spot is somewhere in between these two. Nvidia suggests 33%, but I'll let you mess with that in your own time. And last, I do suggest enabling the overlay, because it will help to show you if it's working or not later on. Once NIS is enabled, it's simple. Just load up CSGO and set it to the resolution you want to play at. If the NIS logo at the top left of the screen is blue, it means that it isn't upscaling, but it is still sharpening. But if it's green, then it's upscaling. Well done. And it should be doing this as long as you're using the same aspect ratio as your monitor uses natively, but at a lower resolution. For instance, if you're on a 1080p screen, which you probably are, then try setting the resolution to 1280 by 720 and see if that turns the logo green. I found that other aspect ratios would also show the logo in green, suggesting that they were still being upscaled, but they weren't really. Only being sharpened. And here are some comparison shots. This is 720p without NIS. This is 720p with NIS on. Sharpness set to 0%. And this is it with sharpness set to 100%, which is insanely sharp and only a madman or CSGO Pro would dare play like this. If all of these look bad to you, then don't worry. The secret to NIS is to use anti-aliasing. NIS doesn't do this itself, but if anti-aliasing is already there, then NIS will amplify how good that anti-aliasing looks. The best anti-aliasing you can get is 8 times MSAA, but it will run the slowest. FXAA is the fastest, but looks the worst. You can use both of these types at the same time, but if you do, then I recommend using NIS's sharpening tool to counter out FXAA's blurry appearance. Long story short, it is best to use as much anti-aliasing as your computer can handle, but if you're lost and don't know where to start, a good compromise would be to try something like 2 times MSAA with FXAA on as well. Now CSGO's FXAA option is bugged. It will disable again if you return to the options menu, but provided you enable it and click apply and then leave the screen, then it should remain on.